Yo, it's, good to see you here. I was wondering where you were at. We've got to talk about your love reading. All right, so everyone, sit down, Papa Squat, take a seat. Pretty sure Papa Squat means take a seat. In like hippie or something. The language I do not know the best, but I'm learning. So let's do this, you guys, and see what we can come up with. So we're going to do your love reading from November 15th to December 1st, 2021. This is for our little scorpions, our little stinger friends. You got those pincers too, so we're gonna see what's going on here with our little armored arachnid. Did you know daddy long legs are not spiders? I didn't know that. And they also have different kinds of bodies too. I can't remember what they're called exactly, but they're not spiders. They don't regenerate. They generally have 2 eyes, 2 to 6 or something instead of 8 like spiders have. Their legs don't regenerate is what I mean. And their bodies, they just have kind of a round body and that's it. And they can't bite you, and they're not the most poisonous spider in the world, but they just can't bite you. They don't have anything in them. They're just kind of little creepy crawlies. Okay, so let's see what we get here for our Scorpios. Okay, perfect. Oh. Okay, so here's what we got. We have dating. The fine fair lady is waiting to be courted. Okay. And then we have this card. We have the divine feminine. Okay. And then we have this card, resolving conflict in reverse. Right now, what I'm seeing, let me log into my chat here. I always forget this part. I can do this, but for some reason I always forget I can do this. There we go. All right, so right now what I'm seeing is we have the dating card. We have this little thing right here. We have the gentleman asking thine lady if she would like to go out on a date. I don't know why it's David Attenborough, but him doing a dating show, I do believe I would watch it. So with this, maybe we have prospects, right, Scorpio? Maybe we have something or someone, right, that's coming into our life and they're trying to get us to pay attention to them. We could have someone that's trying to get our attention, basically is what I'm trying to say. This person could try asking you out on dates, or they could try, to do different things, but they're trying to show you that they are interested. And I see the divine feminine here, and then I see resolving conflict in reverse. So I can read this 2 ways. One way is that, my little Scorpios, we got the divine feminine is all about, hey D, the divine feminine is all about feminine power, okay? Divine feminine means simply that, it is divine. And with divine feminine, it's more of a passive energy. And I don't mean that as like a negative, okay? I want to stress that. The passive energy just means that it's there. It knows it's there. It doesn't need to be anything else, right? And passivity, without passivity, there can be no activity. Without activity, there can be no passivity. So male, or feminine and masculine, the divine aspects of it, that's what I'm talking about. It's a duality construct. Now with the divine feminine, this is someone who could be weighing out their options. She has her hair is branches for this tree, okay? We can view this as like the tree of life, okay? Or we can view it as like the dating tree, the tree you go to get a damn pair so you can date people. I don't know, a pair, a couple of pairs. Anyway, this is a card where we're looking at the aspect of falling into more of an observation standpoint. So we feel like we have what it takes to go on dates. We're feeling confident. Um, she is gorgeous. But we feel like we have what it takes. We feel like we have what it takes. We're feeling confident and like we're ready to go out there. And what's interesting when I say we're ready to go out there, it's like you don't even have to really try. Right, Scorpio? Things just kind of gravitate towards you and you're being an observer. I'm feeling like there's a sense of calmness, there's a sense of sereneness. You feel like you know what you got and you put it on display and you know what's up. Okay, so there's some power here. There's some definite power here, and I'm liking this. This card, though, we have resolving conflict. We have resolving conflict in reverse. And when we're talking about resolving conflict in reverse, what would that look like? We could view it as the opposite of fighting, or we could view it as someone who comes in, and I know I read this card differently when it was upright. Again, different readings I read differently. But this card can literally be that we could be trying to soothe the situation, or we could be trying to go over a situation as gently as possible. And maybe we want to make noise. Maybe we want to say what's on our minds, and we don't want to be a quote unquote good person. We don't want to be that. We want to be someone who is real, someone who is honest, someone who is genuine. And because of that, I feel like maybe that can take us out of this divine feminine energy, this passivity, because we want to be seen as good. We want to be seen as someone who is doing the right thing, who is striving to do the right thing, who almost suffers to do the right thing. Because society rewards the good, right? And it punishes the bad. However, no, is not true. It's actually the opposite. So if you look at it this way, society rewards the bad and punishes the good. That sounds a little bit more kind of how things are going. So what I'm trying to say is this: be yourself. Okay, be neutral, be positive, be whatever you want to be, but just know that you're being yourself. Step into that power. The divine feminine kind of demands that, where we step into that power and we don't try to hide or isolate ourselves. So let's look at these cards here and see what we get. Look at that. That's how he sleeps when I work. Isn't that cute? He just lays on the ground like that, puts his paws up, and he just stays right next to me. He's daddy's little boy. He's a cute cat. Very interesting little guy. All right, let's shuffle these cards here. Let's shuffle a couple more times. All right, one more time. Okay, Scorpios, here you go. Okay. So on dating, we're getting the Four of Wands in reverse. He's a little king, absolutely. He definitely is a little king. And he lets me know that I am his servant. So, I mean, what more of a king, you know? I scoop his poops out of a box. Okay, if that doesn't say you rule over me and I'm his little slave, I don't know what does. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there. So we have dating, we have Four of Wands in reverse. It'd be weird if there was another hand that came up right then, wouldn't it? But this to me is saying that we may have people offering to date us. Is that kind of weird? We may have people offering to date us. It's weird, like delay with my voice anyway. But maybe they're not the right people. Maybe the people that are offering something to us, they're not people that we would consider dating material. Maybe we're putting ourselves out there, but or maybe we're not even putting ourselves out there, but we're getting unwanted attention. That can be something that we're looking at too. And for you to stay in that sense of your divinity, your divine power, it's important to realize who's coming in that could be a possible match that's a good match for us, or who's coming in that would kind of take us back down the karmic cycle, right? They would take us back down learning some harsh lessons. So I feel like maybe being selective, which I feel like is what you're doing, is a good thing. Okay? But sometimes we can be too on guard. Like, that's been a theme. That has been a theme this for these readings. But sometimes we can be a little too guarded. Of course, be guarded. Of course, be cautious. I understand it can be a scary world sometimes. I'm not saying don't be cautious, but I'm saying sometimes we can take a road that stops us right at the beginning. We can take a road that immediately there's a brick wall and no one can pass through. Even people that could be considered good matches, right? Because we've kind of built up a fortress around us. Okay, so then we have this. We have the Divine Feminine, and we have the Moon in reverse. Okay, so the Divine Feminine, like I said, it's the passivity card. It's a beautiful card. It's letting things happen. It's letting emotions build up and then and then go away. It's letting the ebb and the flow of the world do what it needs to do without having to interfere. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Another way I can describe this, and I do not mean it in a negative context, because I love spiders. I think they're really cool. Don't get near me. We've been through this before. Get away, stay away, spiders. Don't want you near me, but you're cool from afar. The big ones, though, can go to hell. Not a fan. However, so we have the Moon card here, okay? And we have the Divine Feminine. The reason I'm going to bring this up is because both of these relate to the spider, in my opinion. So we have the spider that creates its web. And what does the spider do after it creates its web? It sits and it waits, right? It expects the universe to give it something. And generally the spider gets fed, at least the ones around me, because they're freaking huge. But that's what I'm talking about. Okay, you sit, you wait, the universe provides. That's kind of the energy that I'm talking about when I'm talking about the Divine Feminine. And to me, the spider can represent the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine, because there's also spiders, they go out and they hunt. They do their thing, right? There's those kinds of spiders too. So with this kind of energy, we could have something where our subconscious desires, maybe they're a little bit skewed. There's some Divine Feminine energy, which is awesome, but maybe the way we interpret the Divine Feminine can be a little bit skewed. Because when this is in reverse, when a major arcana is in reverse, especially when it's a Moon card, and especially when it's the Divine Feminine up here, it feels to me like we could be someone who, maybe this is like a show. Maybe this is like the face we put on for people, but it's not who we really are. So maybe we're trying to find who we really are. Maybe we're not this prim and proper person. Maybe we're someone that's a little more darker, a little bit more mysterious. It's not a negative thing, but maybe there's a part of us that's scared to show that, because the Moon is the subconscious. This is in reverse. It's showing that there's parts of ourselves that we're hiding away. And maybe we feel like we have to. Maybe we feel like we have to hide away because people wouldn't understand it. People wouldn't get it. And like I have said so many times, it's not for everyone to get. In fact, very few people will get you. And those people are going to be the closest ones to you. The people that do get you will be awesome. Okay? So have that be something. Have that be a goal. Okay, then we have resolving conflict. And we have the World card. Okay, resolving conflict in reverse and the World card. And this is saying that if something happens, and if something happens in our life where it's hard for us to kind of move on, to move forward, it's important to realize that sometimes people or situations come up and then they pass by, and maybe we've lost a friend, maybe we've lost a family member, maybe we've lost a part of ourselves somewhere in the process. But it's important to realize that even when it feels like we're going backwards, we're still moving forward, because life is a story and we're turning the page each and every day. Okay. Sometimes it may seem like the narrative is going down and it feels like it's negative. Other times it's going up. But it is just that. It's a book, and we're writing a new page each day. Book of life. There's the world card. And the world card is progression. The world card is about progression. Where the Wheel of Fortune card is kind of like the Wheel of Fate. Like fortune can be good or bad, right? Good luck, bad luck, whatever. But it's fortune, it's fate. This, though, the world card is about progression. And sometimes we have to go through the darker stuff to get to the lighter stuff. In fact, most times we do. Okay? And so that's something we can talk about. That's something we can mention here. It's not your job to fix every situation that's gone wrong in your life. In fact, rarely will you be called to make it right, so to speak. What your job is to understand things in such a way that these kinds of situations eventually don't come up, because we've surrounded ourselves with people that understand us. We've surrounded ourselves with situations that don't require us to feel guilty or trigger our shame response and things like that. So it's important for us to realize that if that's happening in our day-to-day life, if we're feeling shamed, if we're feeling guilty, if we're feeling this almost constantly, let's look at why we're feeling that, because that's not a normal kind of response. That means there's something or someone in our environment that is causing us undue harm. And maybe if we get rid of that person from our social circle, block them on social media, or we do what we need to do, we can protect ourselves, right? And your peace of mind is much more important than anyone else's, because without you, there's nothing. There's nothing else for you to do. So you're kind of the only you've got. But primarily, Scorpio, put down this act, right? Put down this act of being a certain way, and let yourself actually be who you are, and see the response. See the response, at least. If we have this built up persona of let's see, how would I put this? If we have this built up persona of what people think we should be. Hey Liz, how are you doing? Yes, I'm doing well. Then we're missing the point, right? The point here is for all of us to be getting closer and closer to our true self, and that false persona, that false self, that mask that we wear, eventually we get rid of it. Or we're supposed to. We're supposed to integrate. We're supposed to do that. And the moon card being in reverse, we still have a ways to go. Also, with the moon card in reverse, think of it like this. Think of it like if you have a dream, focus on the dream. Focus on what the dream is about. What is the dream telling you? Okay? Dreams speak through symbols of the subconscious. So have that be something we can focus on. All right. But I was having some weird dreams. Oh man. I'm drawing a blank, but trust me, I have some really weird dreams. I think the depression medication I'm on, it's given me more dreams. They're very weird. I wish I could give you an example. I'm not doing this to just be vague. I really can't think right now. Let me see here. But that's your reading, Scorpio. I'm just doing this part. Okay, can't think of anything right now. If I think of it, I'll say it in one of these other videos, but this is true. So, okay. D says, this is so true. Since I am being myself, I feel freer and people respond to me much better, to my surprise. You should write them down, although I never write my dreams down. I've got lots of dreams. Maybe do a video about your dreams and meaning of dreams. I could do that. I could do that. That video, though, would go on forever. Just because if we're talking about dreams, dreams are a lot like the tarot, but again, it's symbolic, right? If we feel a certain way in a dream, that's the most important part. Looking up for instance, looking at a snake in your dream and feeling very calm. That's a good, that can be something that's positive. Snakes represent shedding of the skin. They represent a new start towards something, and they represent something that doesn't have arms or legs but can still be incredibly creepy, and it moves very fast. So there's that, but that's primarily something you can look at is the attribute of the thing that's in your dream, how you felt when you saw it, kind of how did it make you feel, basically, is the primary sense. And then if there's other senses that come up too, then you can incorporate that. But that's how you can read something. If I have a dream about spiders and I look up and they're coming down and I am terrified, it could mean that there could be success coming my way, but it could be success that I'm frightened of. It could be the fact that I fear success. But it's not a bad thing. And spiders in dreams are very, very good. Don't kill them. Do not kill the spiders in dreams, okay? Even the big ones. Even the big ones. Okay. I remember once I had a dream, this was a long time ago, about, gives me the creeps thinking about it. It was this thing called an elephant spider, right? To my knowledge, I don't think elephant spiders are a real thing, but it was a spider that was like the size of a car, okay? And it had what do you call it? Telepathy. So it could speak to me, right? It could speak to me in a telepathic way and tell me things. And I don't remember exactly what it said, but I do remember it was very eerie. Yeah, Liz, I can help interpret dreams. Dreams are something that it's the same as with psychic ability. Once you learn how to do one, once you learn how to work with one modality, you can adopt it into so many others. Tarot is an excellent place to start. Once you learn symbology, once you learn how to interpret these, then you can understand the symbols of the subconscious and of the language of dreams. Okay, everyone, so I'm sorry to keep doing this, but I'm going to go off. I'm going to come right back on, okay, and we're going to go to Taurus and then Virgo, all right? So I will see you guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys. Please don't feel like you have to be obligated to show up, but I do like the company, and please like and subscribe, and if you guys want to, please book a reading through my website, and we can work privately together towards anything that we need to work on, okay? We can do energy healing, we can do tarot readings, we can do psychic readings, apparently now dream interpretation, if that's something guys want to work with. But I'm going to go live next with Taurus, so be looking for that video, and I will see you guys there. So, toodaloo, everybody, and I'll be right back. So it's not really like toodaloo, but... Okay, so hold on before I go. So I forgot to tell you that I actually do the tarot. I've been doing some readings for a few people, actually. I did it in Amsterdam, but I'm not a professional. Although the people I opened the cards for said it was accurate. Okay, so let me say this, all right? When we're talking about being a professional tarot reader, I don't view myself as a professional either. That's like, in my opinion, that's like saying I'm a professional human. What does that mean? What does it mean to be a professional human? It means that when I sleep much harder. When I drink much bigger. You know what I mean? As long as you feel a sense of being drawn to it, as long as you feel a sense of like you can do it and you've been accurate, let yourself ride with that. Let yourself go with that, because I don't believe in the professional versus unprofessional. I've seen psychics. And I've worked with psychics. I've done classes, not me teaching, but me being the student. I've done classes where a student that's never done any psychic training was able to read me incredibly well, like accurately, detailed kind of well, evidential kind of well. And it was their first time practicing. So being a professional, that's just a label, and labels slow us down. So as long as you like doing it, and as long as you understand it and continue to learn and grow with it, to me, that's someone who I think can have a sense of mastery about it. But I don't view myself as a professional tarot reader or psychic or anything like that. But that's just me. That's how I think. I feel like people should be passionate about it and shouldn't label it as being professional or this or that, because then we're putting labels on it and we're setting limitations for ourselves. Does that make sense, D? Um, Again, at least that's how I think. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for D's response here, and then I'll go to the next video here, or the next. Okay, awesome. All right, see you guys in Taurus, and thank you, D, for that. And please, you guys, let me know. I mean, if you don't agree, right? Let me know. Let me know so that way we can have a conversation. I'm okay to debate different things. We can talk about different things. I don't have to be right. So just, let me know. All right. I will see you guys in the next one. Taurus.